vegetables, what I did was just a simple marinade. It is balsamic, olive oil, and basil. Just a touch of honey to bring out a little bit of sweetness and enhance the caramelization. Just a little honey in there, and that's it. So I just cut the vegetables and toss that in a bowl. After it's tossed, just lightly coated like this, and then right onto the grill. And then after 5-10 minutes, they come out looking like that. And you can refrigerate it. You can use it as a cold salad. You can add that to different things like quinoa. Yeah.
I'm sorry. How long do you say that you marinate them?
These ones, any marinade, you want to do that right before you cook.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be long, just 5-10 minutes?
5-10 minutes, and then you're good. At the end of the demonstration, I'm going to have a little packet with all the times and everything.
And you'll even have that mix? And you'll say,
absolutely.
well,
Yep.
perfect.
I've already got, I'm trying to take all the hard work out of it for you.
Appreciate that very much.
And nowadays, in most markets like Link's Markets, Whole Foods, Oaks Farms, they have a lot of marinades already ready to go, bottled, and those are definitely good. Here, I make everything fresh myself. Sometimes at home you might not have the time to do that. You can find really good products. It just depends on what you like. I like simple, basic olive oils and vinegars. That always, for me, always does the best. You can find different things like you can use like Peter Luger steak sauce as a marinade, or just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. So you can use all sorts of different things. Even if you want to go, next time I'm going to be doing teriyaki marinades, mojo marinades. So you can find some of those already at the store. There's one very teriyaki. It's very good. Different mojos are Cuba. So they right down here. The traditional orange that we use, or the lemon, is the sour lemon, the Florida sour lemon. So that will be next time. So that's pretty much that on the marinade for the vegetables. You can do all sorts of different types. You can add different vinegars if you want something a little bit less acidic. You can do that. You can cut it with a little bit more either agave or honey, different things like that. Anybody familiar with brining? Brining is pretty much the same principle as marinating. What you're after when you brine is to loosen the meat texture from being too hard, and then add flavor to it. This is a typical pork brine. Just water, sugar, salt. I put some onions, a little rosemary, bay leaves, and some peppercorns. And what you want to do is just bring your water to a boil, add all the ingredients, and then add 4 cups of ice into it to bring it down. And then it will chill it completely, and then you'll get your pork chops or any chicken, anything like that from your local butcher, and you just pour that over top and let it sit overnight. And then the next day, you will not believe how tender the meat is and how flavorful it is. Compared to just a regular pork chop, these are Berkshire pork chops, so they're going to be nice, full flavored any which way. But you're going to have a lot of the dried spices. All these flavors are going to shine. I put a little. Yes, it is. I also did put a little juniper. I'm a big fan of juniper, especially. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
It's our test.
So this is what happens. This is when you put them in there and you let them sit overnight. They come out like this. Sometimes when you marinate and you brine different meats, the color is going to be a little bit off the next day. Don't be scared. As long as you marinate it inside your refrigerator, you're fine. If you see this color right here, it's starting to darken on the outside. That is normal in the marinade because it's like a tissue breakdown, so it's kind of making it softer and infusing those flavors. Next is the simple steaks. You can pick up any of your your middle section, your loins, your sirloins, or your rib steaks, your tenderloins. These ones, when you're grilling them, they're not going to have to be cooked too long. Depending on the temperature you like, if it's medium rare all the way to well done. If you do, in fact, like your steaks well done, I suggest trying to pick out one with the most intramuscular fat. That's going to be, because fat equals flavor. So if it's well marbleized, then you're going to get more of a juicy, flavorful steak. There's a number of different seasonings, char crust out there. Have you ever had an espresso rub steak? Espresso rub? What I do here is, this is just ground espresso coffee, a little bit of sugar in the raw sugar, some dried oregano, a little bit of cayenne pepper just to give it a little spice, and you would not believe the flavor. We're gonna do that for the last course. So this one is very, very good, and I'm a firm believer it's good on pork chops, on steaks, and anything like that. This more is your like traditional. This is the recipe for that is in the notes.
The memory retention after third goes down. Right.
It happens. This one right here is a more of a traditional, like the Montreal style steak seasoning. It's got dehydrated onion, garlic, coarse pepper in there, and that's also going to give it really, really good flavor. Don't be scared to season it heavy. Just remember that some of these might have salt in them. If you make them yourself, I leave the salt out of this one, so then you can season the salt and have the proper amount of salt. But when you're talking about a steak of 1 3/4 inches thick, you're going to need quite a bit of salt on there to penetrate together. And then we have blackening seasoning. If you've ever had blackening seasoning before, I always go back to Paul Prudhomme. He pretty much came up with the blackening seasoning. Louisiana chef. Excellent seasonings. I've never found one that can even come close to compare. This one here is have you ever heard of Everglades seasoning? Everglades seasoning was invented by a butcher out here in the Everglades, and it's sage and oregano rich type of seasoning, and he uses it on all sorts of steaks, different things like that. This is a powdered porcini. So you can get dried porcinis, or you can find different things like that. Powdered mushrooms, a little sugar, and some salt in there, and you're ready. Yeah, what you want to do, whenever you use any dried spices, use something like this. This is just an olive oil and rosemary and garlic. This one is just oil, so you just outside and then heavily sprinkle it and kind of rub it on there. So when you put it on your grill, the seasonings just don't fall right off.
Right.
Yes.
We were talking, we don't cook with sugar. I don't even have sugar in my house.
Okay.
But it seems like it's an important component to your dry rub. If we leave the sugar out, is that going to really have a detrimental flavor?
No, not at all. Sometimes a lot of the sugars, or one thing, I'm not for sure if you are familiar with coconut palm sugar. Coconut palm sugar, my mother-in-law is a diabetic instructor, and she turned me on to that about 5 years ago. It's the lowest on the glycemic index, and it's the most healthiest sugar for your body to digest. See, your body turns everything into sugars to digest it. The main thing is finding out healthy sugars and the right sugars for you and your body. And what I was stressing at the last cooking demonstration I did was you are the best person to understand what you can eat. So with things like these, it's so consequential. If you can't have flour or sugars, leave that out and supplement something in. I don't know if you have use agave or wildflower honey, different things like that. If you would like to sweeten it, or you can leave it out. It's like salt. A lot of people, you can't have too much salt. So a little bit at the end, you'll be all right. And a lot of things, especially with that, to kind of touch bases on that, a lot of people are eating, have you ever heard of alkaline? Eating more alkaline? Now this is probably not the best way for alkaline because you have so much vinegar. The main thing is you stay away from acidics and vinegar-based foods. So you can also do that as well. The main thing is, like I was saying before, whatever works for you. And if you go to the store and you can't find a ribeye, don't be set on just having a ribeye. You might find some lamb loin chops that will be very good. Olive oil, some garlic, some fresh herbs on there, and you'll be set. The next thing I was going to touch base on is smoking. Have you guys ever used any wood chips to smoke? The best way that I've always found is to soak them in either you can find some bourbon or just plain water is fine, and then that